So let's just jump right into it. Going into the draft, did you identify corner as a need? And you said, we're going to, I don't know if it's like the movie Draft Day, Quinion Mitchell, no matter what. But what was that something that you said, we're going to hit it?
Yeah.
We're going to hit it hard?
I don't know that I've ever felt about anything, no matter what. But I would say that for us, we just got to be careful that we don't change our evaluations based on need. And I think the way that the board fell, with the offensive players going, with the quarterbacks going, it fell nicely for us. I think there was a point in the first round where we had an opportunity to trade up, and we felt like we were going to sit at our pick and get a really good player, which is a pretty unique feeling, certainly for me. I'm usually of the mindset of like, let's go up and let's make sure we get it. But it fell kind of nicely for us, and we felt like we were a good spot at 22, and actually had a couple of first rounders still on our draft board. We don't have 32 first rounders, but we had a couple of first rounders still on our board at 22. And obviously getting Mitchell filled a spot that we were looking to address this offseason that we hadn't addressed other than, getting Isaiah, which was kind of a different look from us. We do have some young corners and some veteran corners that we like as well, but it kind of met needs and evaluation.
Well, you had your choice, essentially, of corners. Why did he jump out at you as the one for you?
Yeah, a lot of good players there, and I think it's a beautiful situation that we had. A lot of good players that we would have been happy to select that we didn't know that would be there at 22. We just felt like he fit, his skill set fit what we were looking for. Not that the other guys didn't, because we would have loved to have him, and obviously we went back and got another one of those guys there on day 2, but just felt like he had a great mix of skill set and mentality and intangibles to come in and help our football team.
And if you dug the kid, I imagine getting him where you did, you might be surprised going in that you'd be able to stick and get him. And knowing you and not leaving anything to chance, if you want somebody, I imagine you might have called around to see if you could move up. Not to turn you into a pundit here, Howie, but why do you think there were so few first night draft trades from moving up? It was kind of a difficult nut to crack, it seemed, from my seat on the set. Do you have any theories on that at all?
Yeah, I feel like the teams in the top 10 had options at positions that made sense for them. I felt like once you got to 11 through 20, the three quarterbacks going kind of affected that range of players. And that allowed guys to fall down that normally wouldn't have fallen down in other drafts. And so I think when teams were sitting there, they felt very comfortable about who they were picking in the first round. And when you do that, you're not willing to move off that spot. And the flip side is you don't have to move up because, you look at your board and say, hey, there's 3 picks left to my pick. I have 3 guys that I still really like. I'm in a good spot.
Is that how it works? Like, you draft your board. Your draft board's not just vertical, but it's also horizontal. That
That's exactly right.
That's
exactly right.
Really,
you got to look at it from both perspectives. And so, for us, the draft kind of fell, and we didn't say that just because we were picking 22nd.
Sure.
We felt like there were about 24 first-round talents, including the quarterbacks. And so when you get to a point. You get to a point where you kind of go, all right, well, we're 5 picks away. We still got 5 first-round talents. For us, it kind of worked out from, like you said, from a horizontal perspective where those grades were equal and they were positions that we were looking to address anyway. So it didn't make a lot of sense for us to move up and use draft capital to do it.
And you must have been, because we had Chris Ballard on last Friday, and he was obviously just like you, not quarterback needy going into this draft. And he told me if I could get 5 or 6 quarterbacks drafted before he picks, he said he would come on this show anytime. And I'm imagining you had to have been high-fiving, right? Watching all the quarterbacks go in the top 12, you sitting where you were sitting, right?
Yeah, Rich, one of my many negative qualities is I always expect the worst and hope for the best. So, you sit there and you go, what's the least amount of quarterbacks that will go before we pick? And you kind of work off that. So I think for us to have 6 quarterbacks go was probably the best case scenario in any of the hypotheticals that we did.
And Cooper DeJean, do you see him playing a role in this newfangled kickoff return world we live in, Howie? Do you see that?
Well, we couldn't be more excited to get him. He was certainly among the considerations at 22. When we came back after the first round and met as a staff, just trying to figure out a way. Was there a possibility that we could get him because of what kind of player and person he is, the roles that he can fill? This guy, he's just a heck of a player. I think whatever he does at a high level, whether that's a defensive player, whether that's as a returner. I mean, shoot, this was a quarterback in high school. This guy could have played quarterback in college as well. He's that kind of athlete. He's that kind of intangible. So I'm really excited to get him and kind of add to what we're trying to do defensively.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.